Right, the folk, welcome back to another video beer review. Today we've got a beer coming out of Siren, and it is the Caribbean Chocolate Cake Rocky Road Brownie. Now, I had this year's edition of Caribbean Chocolate Cake yesterday, and it was absolutely banging. I really enjoyed it. I only had a third of it. Had it at the tap in Marlborough, where I picked this one up from, because they have the whole. In fact, they have everything bar one. I think they're missing the chocolate orange one, which I'm not really interested in trying because I've had that flavour in beers many a time before. This flavour in beers I have had as well, but less so. And I'm really interested by the collaboration between Siren and Vault City on this one, because I wish that Vault City would do more of their stouts and imperial stouts than what they actually do release. The imperial stouts that I've had in the past have been fantastic. They just don't seem to release many of them anymore. It's just all sours and lots of crazy sours and crazy flavours with no sours. And at one point they'll run out of flavours they can do, and then they can do stouts again, because I love stouts. Especially this time of year, so you'll be seeing plenty coming over, especially on the advent calendar. I know there's a good few in there, and leading up to it I haven't got quite as many as I would have wanted, but there doesn't seem to be that many available compared to what I would really like to have. And I'm sure I'm probably just a little bit early in wanting to buy these stouts and the like. Like I say, the standard version of the beer was absolutely fantastic. Let's see how this one is. Tropical stout with marshmallows and honeycomb. Rocky Road is the influence for this fun and flavourful Caribbean chocolate cake. It's dense and fudgy with sprinklings of marshmallows, honeycomb and biscuits, made up with help of our special guest Vault City. Love the 330s as well, because obviously it has been 330s all the years, because you don't need tons of this beer. We don't need tons of beer at high ABV. You don't need imperial stouts in 440s. No, thank you. I mean, I've got a few, and I tend to really kind of have them because there's a lot to have on a school night. It's a lot of beer to have. I had one the other day. It was a imperial stout. I don't remember what it was. It was a 330ml can. God, it's gone from my head. Anyway, it was a 330 and much better. It was the beer from Brewery Case. It was a caramel fudge apple strudel kind of flavour, and it was much nicer to have that beer at a 330 rather than being mildly daunted by having it in a 440. So I can see a lot of other breweries are going down the line of putting it into the 330s. So I think Neon Raptor have actually since put some impies in 330s. Fear the Rancor, I think it is in the 330. Yes, please. I'd much rather have it in that. Also, the cost of it doesn't push people off too much because you know it's going to be higher ABV. And I think that's probably what keeps the cost price of these ones down as well, is having them put into 330s. Because you put it into 440, then you have 110 more mils of the same beer, which, you know, for some reason puts me off it. I'd rather even have smaller cans as well, because there's a ticker. It would help even more. Anyway, let's crack it open. 4 minutes in, we're getting to pouring the beer in. Been bad recently. Been bad talking about beers. I mean, you're on a beer review channel, so that's what you're going to get. Me boring people to death about beers. Some people are interested, thank God. Anyhow, we have a lovely colour on it. Dark brown, almost black in colour, and a lovely kind of creamy tan, dark tan head. Wow. 7.8% on this one. I think standard Caribbean chocolate cake is a little bit less. I think 7.4 or something like that. I could be wrong. I only saw from a quick glimpse of the board. I knew it was having it, and then I looked back and I was like, well, I didn't really care about the price at all. I think I only paid like from the first half I had in there, which is a glass house shoom or something like that, and it was like £3 for a half. And then we which isn't fucking bad really if you think about it, and the ABV of what it was. And then this was around about the same, maybe a little bit cheaper for a third. You don't mind paying that when you know the quality of the ingredients that's gone inside of it. So you're getting fudge brownie sort of notes, marshmallow taste as well, or nose, smell. Taste is different, Harry. Taste is different to taste. Taste is different to smell. Definitely getting fudgy sort of flavours. Again, flavours different to nose. We'll dive in. Cheers. Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. And I mean wow. It's so jammy. It's so jammy. It's like, yeah, it's like, I'm surprised with the flavours on it. It's just chocolate. It's almost like a chocolate donut rather than an actual, you know, chocolate cake. So Rocky Road, so you expect like marshmallows, biscuit, brownie sort of flavours, and this is intensely jammy. Has anyone tried, you know, I hate to say this brewery within this review, but Pump Up the Jam from Tiny Rebel, the sort of jamminess of that beer, obviously highly synthetic. I bank on that being inside of there. That kind of chewy jammy note, which I did not expect to be inside of this, like a chewy jammy glaze. The marshmallow note is definitely there. You got, you know, fudgy, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, marshmallow notes, and then that kind of real jammy intense note. It tastes nothing like standard Caribbean chocolate cake. Absolutely nothing like it. Maybe you've got the chocolate background to it. I think the I don't know whether this year whether they've used cacao or whether they've used chalaka, and it tastes a lot like chalaka in the beers that I've had in the CCC standard, and then this one. Chalaka as well it tends to give you a bit more of a sweeter chocolate, a more milk chocolate rather than cacao, which tends to be a bit more dark and a bit more intense. Yeah, I'm not sure that it actually delivers the flavours I'm kind of expecting it to. It's sweet milk chocolate, bit of dark chocolate, like marshmallowy sort of notes, and then a onslaught of that jamminess. You're not really getting the spice of the Caribbean chocolate cake. I think it's maybe is there, but it's being offset by the real high amounts of sweetness inside of it. The honeycomb as well, probably, you know, giving tons and tons. Let's just read through it again. Dense and fudgy, absolutely yes. Sprinklings of marshmallows, yes. Honeycomb is probably all that sweetness. Biscuits, I don't know where the jamminess is coming from, but it's absolutely there. Malted barley, oats and lactose. So don't put water in it, don't put yeast in it. So they just have adjuncts. It's doesn't taste anything like what I thought it would do. I tell you what, I am now getting a little bit of the kind of spicy sort of notes from it, but it's not a prominent flavour at all. You know what, I prefer standard CCC, and I'll probably be going back for 2/3 or a pint of it tomorrow because it was a beautiful beer, and it's going to cost me a fortune. Standard CCC, lovely. This one is pretty nice. There's lots of layers to it, lots of layers to the beer, but I don't think you can ever quite beat the original. It's an interesting variant to try. I might try Death By, but I think that's just a bit too much. And I might take it to share it with some as it were, but that doesn't really interest me, like an imperial version of what is a relatively strong beer in the first place. Yeah, I think standard CCC is better in this case, but I did want to give it a go nonetheless. But yeah, CCC Rocky Road Brownie from Siren, collab with Vault City. See about yourself, see what you make of it. See if you still pick up that jammy note that I was getting, that I can only compare with Tiny Ribble Pump Up the Jam, which is a beer which I haven't had for about 4 or 5 years. But yeah, anyway, see you next one. Cheers.